Hey guys, it's Elise and welcome back to another delicious episode of My Cupcake Addiction. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make s'mores pie. Now this is partly because s'mores are amazing and I think they deserve to be in pie form, but also because as an Australian we don't do s'mores, mainly because we don't have access to graham crackers here. So this is for all you Aussies that have been wanting to know what s'mores taste like, and for everybody else that just loves them and wants to see them in pie form. The things that you're going to need for your delicious s'mores pie: I've got some milk chocolate. I've also got some really finely crushed cookies. Now, if you're in the US, you'll use graham crackers, but because I'm in Australia, I'm using milk arrowroot cookies. Anywhere else, you just want to use any sort of a plain white biscuit and you want to crush it really nice and fine. I've got a half a cup of caster sugar. I've got some melted butter, and I've also got a ton of white marshmallows. I'm going to leave all of your quantities and conversions on the MyCupcakeAddiction.com website so you can check out that recipe and print it out there. I'm going to use a tart pan today, so I've got the one with the nice fluted edge. You could also use something like a springform pan, you could use a dish, you can use pretty much anything you want, so let's get started. First up, we're going to make our base. So for the base, you're just going to stir that sugar through my graham cracker crumbs, or my milk arrowroot crumbs, just to sweeten things up a little bit. And once they're all nicely combined, and I can't see any more white from the sugar, I'm going to add in my melted butter, stirring it all through until it's really well combined. Depending on the type of biscuits that you've gone with, they may be slightly more absorbent or less absorbent than the ones that I'm using today. So you can add a little more butter or a little less. So you'll know they're done when you squeeze them together and they hold their shape, kind of a little bit like wet sand. I'm going to scoop that into my pie dish or my tart shell, and I've got one of the ones with the removable bases, so I'm not going to worry about greasing it or anything. I'm going to push that down up around the edges and make sure that it's nice and compacted, but make sure it's nice and high so it's coming all the way to the outside edges and up to the tops of your shell. You can use something with just a flat base just to help to compress it down, and it kind of pushes it and forces it up those edges as well. A really neat trick here to get those nice flat top edges is just to take a knife and just run it along. I'm going to push it straight back into the crust and then I'll pat it down again, but that'll give me a nice sort of a flat top on my fluted edge. That's my base. It's really easy to make, it's beautiful and compact. I'm going to pop it off into the oven now for about 15 minutes. Because I know that I've got one of those loose bottom tins going on here, I've been very careful to only handle my tray on the outside edges so I don't accidentally pop the base up and ruin my beautiful crust. Now while that's still hot, or you can wait for it to cool, it really doesn't matter, I'm going to cover the base and some of the sides in my milk chocolate. Now I'm going to take my marshmallows and I'm just going to layer the top relatively neatly until I've completely covered my pie in marshmallow. I've still got a few leftover marshmallows, so I'm just going to go and squish them into any little nooks and crannies that I might be able to see, because you can never ever have too much marshmallow in s'mores. If you're going to be serving this at a dinner party or serving it to friends, you can leave it like that until just before you're ready to serve. A s'mores pie is best served hot because all of that chocolate's going to be melted, your marshmallow is going to be warm and freshly gooey. I'm going to pop mine back in the oven now. It's going to go in for about another 5 or 10 minutes and you want to watch it. As soon as those marshmallows start to brown relatively evenly, you want to get it out of the oven. I wouldn't recommend leaving this for too long because you definitely don't want burnt marshmallows on your s'mores pie. Our s'mores pie is completely done and it looks amazing. That's only taken about 15 minutes in my oven, but your oven times are going to vary. So what you're really looking for here is that beautiful even browning of the marshmallows. So I'm just going to gently ease it out of that container, and you can see on the edges some of my marshmallows sticking a little bit, so do be quite gentle. Slide it down with my arm protected by my yellow cloth onto that little base. And I'm going to leave the metal base on the bottom of my s'mores pie. It's going to give it extra support because that cookie graham cracker or milk arrowroot crust is still going to be a little bit flexible while it's really hot. When you slice into your s'mores pie, you've got your crunchy graham cracker base, you've got your beautiful milk chocolate, and you've got that gorgeous melted smooth marshmallow with a little bit of crunch on top. I hope you guys have enjoyed my take on the classic US s'mores dish. For the Australians and for any of you guys out there that have never experienced s'mores, I highly recommend you get on this bandwagon. It's amazing. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you do for 2 new videos every week. And as always guys, thanks very much for watching.